How this Korean couple keep their long-distance love alive will amaze you. Long-distance love can be a challenge. It requires loyalty, trust, and a commitment to make time for each other, which isn't always easy when there's a big time difference. This was the scenario facing one Korean couple who, despite being separated by thousands of miles, came up with an innovative and totally charming way of keeping their love alive. The odds, at least initially, were arguably against them. Girl was in one continent, boy in another, with half the world in between them. Would they be able to keep their flame alive? They believe so, though the path they took was somewhat unconventional. Meet Danbi Shin and Seok Lee, who, despite being out of each other's sights, are not out of each other's minds. While their individual worlds are very much separated, they've somehow managed to remain perfectly synchronized. Seok, age 28, lives in Seoul, South Korea's capital, while 23-year-old Danbi, his fiancée, resides in New York City. The twosome, wondering how they could bring themselves closer together, decided to turn to their professions to devise a creative solution. As practicing artists, Seok and Danbi struck upon an idea that would allow them to explore famous monuments together, eat out together, and go on romantic walks. Despite them being on opposing continents, they dubbed it half and half. How did it work? Well, both boy and girl roamed their respective cities, cameras in hands, to take photos of locations and situations that could later be stitched together in a collage. Because Seok and Danbi appeared in many of the images, it almost looks as though they were in the same place at the same time. Danbi said the project, which was published to the couple's Shinlee Art website, had resonated with other couples in similar situations. I think many people felt sympathy with our long-distance relationship, she explained. We received a lot of messages cheering for us, and news articles have been made from all over the world. While the couple's images emphasize togetherness, they also reveal just how different their everyday lives are. While Danbi munches on a multi-layered sandwich at lunchtime, for example, Seok settles for sushi. And then there are the street signs, which, despite using identical colors, are written in totally different languages. There is, however, an almost reassuring number of similarities. Both New York and Seoul have photogenic arches and plazas, while the city's iconic yellow taxis are almost indistinguishable. There's not much separating their restaurants, A-boards either. When inclusions like these appear alongside Danbi and Seok in their photos, it is indeed as if boy and girl are together. Our art started with a simple thought, the couple said, of wondering if anything can be created while being away from each other. Their images have certainly struck a chord with the pair's Instagram account, where many of these stitched-together photos are posted, having attracted more than 128,000 followers. One post, in which Danbi and Seok look as though they're facing each other, has received almost 25,000 likes. Their respective realities, however, are defined by different smells, tastes, sights, and sounds. But despite being confined to virtual dates, Danbi and Seok have used their artistic talents to bridge the 7,000-mile gap that separates them. If the couple's Instagram captions are anything to go by, their photos also allow them to reflect. When our time passes by, our story also passes by. One reads, "Let's remember our time that had passed by. When your last night passes by, I will receive it with the offer of today. I miss the feeling of holding onto your hand," another caption reads. "I reach forward to touch the light. Will you feel what I'm feeling?" Another is particularly poignant. "I stand before you after a walk," it reads. "We gaze at each other and share the same feeling at the same time, but from a different place. I miss you, and I've met you." Such words are fitting for images that are unique, captivating, and cleverly symmetrical. Danbi and Seok, it seems, are very much as creatively talented as they are in love with each other. Brooklyn Bridge, Washington Square Park, and Times Square are among the locations Danbi captured in the Big Apple, with Seok having found equivalent locations such as Triumphal Arch in Seoul. The South Korean city's 63 building was combined with New York's Empire State Building. With American and Korean serials also featuring in the couple's remarkable photo series, Danbi and Seok have managed to capture the minutiae as well as the magnificent. Both, it seems, symbolize their bond. While they can't always be together in real life, the couple can at least look as though they are in a variety of situations and settings, from the romantic to the mundane. At the same time, they've been able to hone their artistic flair. With a wedding on the horizon, Danbi and Seok will soon have to come together in real life to tie the knot. Knowing these two, the photographer may have their work cut out.